ever forget.
He had beef with me.
Did he actually have beef with you?
Yeah, he had some gripes to settle, which I didn't even know about. So, I guess, that's...
Now that is rare because I feel like Moon Meander projects most of his beef. Usually,
let's be honest. I think Moon had beef with 90% of the Dota community back.
Some people just operate better in a competitive environment if they feel like it's personal in some ways, right?
I respect it. He's just too old. This is a newer generation of trash talkers, of all chatters, and well, if you can't keep up with it, you get put to the side here.
Did you agree with what he said in that interview about save? Because it made a lot of sense to me. Do you really want this guy who is this amazing playmaking for position at the end of the day playing a cop?
I think you can playmake with this hero a little bit. I think maybe Moon, he's underselling it because he's going to be confident in his own team for sure.
Sure.
I think putting him on the coddle is fine. It's a signature hero for him. You can do a lot with it. You can accelerate the game. You can farm up, get massive items like late game Hex, Octarine Ags, whatever it is. I'm okay with that hero player decision. Though I do agree it's not an initiator. And when you look historically at this BetBoom squad, when Save is not the one starting fights or directing the map movement, they did tend to suffer. How much of that is going to change with the introduction of Pure, though? Because he's also a guy who's not afraid to get in there, start stuff, dictate the map movement. I think that does relieve some of the burden here. Or it should.
We'll see whether or not that comes to fruition. As if it does, then it says that Save made the right move in the roster changes that he made and made the team a little bit more diverse. But here's that mid matchup we were talking about. Lornoff versus Kiyotaka, Storm Spirit versus Ember Spirit. This matchup, Ember Spirit being the least picked of the Spirit heroes here, but specifically matched up against the Storm Spirit. How does it fare?
I think this is one of those matchups where Storm is the more powerful hero, and he has performed a lot better. Still, you can pick Ember into the Storm because you know that Storm is going to go mid and never get flexed around. So you're not going to get Huskard, you're not going to get Monkey King, and then you get to play an Ember Spirit game, which can be very strong in its own right. You just have to get this hero into a position where you can start abusing enemy supports, running around the map. You don't have lockdown for him, and then all of a sudden maybe this Mage Slayer Ember or whatever, Maelstrom buildup you want to go just starts dictating the pace. You randomly catch that Storm in an early change, maybe kill him once or twice. You're going to feel good about your game flow here. And I think that's what BetBoom are looking at. And of course, you have some extra scaling with the Empower to throw in there, but I wouldn't rate it as highly as this hero was performing in the old Battle Fury Ember days where he could just carry a game straight up with the physical damage.
Sure. Now, that bottom lane matchup, that is a duo that I thought was going to be super scary, right? Shadow Fiend plus Naga Siren, a matchup where you're able to, reposition the enemy into raises. That sounds like one of those lanes that is near unbeatable, but then BetBoom ended up drafting an off-lane duo that is just so spam-heavy that now I feel like it might actually go the other way.
They're just going to shove that lane in. They're not going to give Nightfall a chance to get triple raise off, in
nice
theory.
Push back into the skewer. Now that's some synergy from Miro and Save. It doesn't result in the kill just because that's part of Naga Siren's strength, right? She is a frontliner that has an amazing amount of tankiness early on. 720 HP and 5 armor. Not easy to bring down. Reeled back into the raise, point blank. Miro is able to skewer back out of there, though.
So many nukes being thrown around this lane. This stick is already proven its worth for Nightfall.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know how much BetBoom want to engage in the regen trading here. Yeah, you have the Chakra from the Coddle to boost you back up, but you also want to prioritize the stacking between these two heroes. And the more you get caught in situations like this...
Nightfall doesn't go for any of the raises. Rather surprised about that.
I think he could have hit the mid one and guaranteed the long raise. And a nice deny from Miro. Gets this lane all the way under the tower. This is where BetBoom want this lane, for sure. You don't get the risk of getting chased down. Very close to the stacking for Save if he feels he can leave Miro alone.
It does mean that Tundra will have access to the Lotus for free, and they're going to get access to the other side as well. So they will have the regen advantage, it seems, on both side lanes.
A very even start for these two teams. Maybe that favors this last pick Brood in a way, because at some point 33 is going to kick this Luna out. Unless you want to rotate the Coddle up here and pseudo tri-lane him, you eventually will run into struggles, especially when that Brood hits the ult.
Sure.
That's why the stacking is also fairly important for BetBoom. If you have to abandon lanes at some point, put this Luna in the jungle, or put this Mag into the jungle a little bit, you want to get efficiency out of that.
Mid matchup seems to be going okay for the Storms here, but it's Zaxa who might be in trouble. First Blood is still available for somebody. They get a little bit too aggressive on Zaxa. Now they have to back away on Pure. Pure slowed down for the Blood Grenade. Kataomi. Zaxa's right in their face at no HP.
He's got Lotus backup.
Yeah, and it's going to be on the other side of the map is where our First Blood is. It seems like the Naga Siren plus the Shadow Fiend were finally able to hit their Raze reel-in combo to get a kill.
Pure has got to be careful up here. You get dead shot into some right clicks, you're going to go down. As Save, yeah, bites the bullet on the reel-in combination that it's a nasty one. You just can't walk up in this lane. There's too much armor and right click between these two heroes. Super strong safe lane here for Tundra. In fact, all three lanes going well for them. They're continuing to find a lot. Double Lotus helps you play more aggressive as well. And the net worth reflects it here as the Mag continuing to suffer. First, that Shadow Fiend lane. Nightfall is going to be big here. It's going to have some tempo in this early mid-game where, again, you get an Aegis on this Shadow Fiend. There's not a lot to contest him in that head-on push. You really need the Magnus to control that kind of fight, bring him under the tower, and then you're looking, well, for basically a one-dimensional team fight that Tundra can prepare for.
You said this is one of the key heroes for Lornoff. You and Milan were talking about what is comfort for these two. You said mobility mid, Storm Spirit, and Lornoff, 100% win rate at this tournament with that hero. See if that continues.
Pure taking a few shots, almost loses his courier, and his lane's starting to get really scary in terms of the shove-in.
They're going to get aggressive again. With the tag team, makes it a little bit easier, but Pure can't stick around. Too much damage put onto him. He has to back away. Now the calling is going to slow down Kataomi to get a few more shots on him as well. Again, the trade-off in damage just seems to keep favoring Tundra in this offlane.
The necrotic webs and all the extra regen here, this Brute is untouchable. You have to bring three heroes to fight this lane. Otherwise, you just go jungle with the Luna. They're kind of stuck in that in-between place right now. And of course, Save, he probably doesn't want to go up here with this Coddle because you want to keep stacking up. In fact, stacking not even available. This camp has not been dewarded yet. Does he has a sentry, just doesn't want to deward it or thinks it's being body blocked or illusion blocked from the Naga.
Yeah, that is very possible, right, Whitemon?
At least they get a rune. That is a very big rune for BetBoom to get here. One they needed the resources on the Ember, and 2 amp damage at the 6 is no joke on the map if Kiyotaka can get involved.
33 feeling more and more confident. Getting behind the tower, interrupting the pulls that are happening.
And look at the itemization on the Brood. Just straight drum.
Okay.
No boots here, no extra rate bands or whatever. Just wand, branches, drum. Very interesting build-up. If you can start using the charges to get some early kills, I could see it pay off immensely.
Sure.
It's going to be good with the other cores anyway. The attack speed's nice across this lineup.
Save is here nice and early against a Naga Siren. You never know what she's going to be doing, where the illusions are going, where the real hero is. Doesn't want to risk a potential steal, which is what Kataomi's going for here. He gets silenced. Can he snowball? No, the dead shot hits him, and he's not going to be able to get there. Whitemon even comes in to help out get the kill. So they not only ensure their Wisdom Rune, but they'll get a second kill out of this, and they make sure to give it to 33, who now has his boots and his drums, and a little extra gold on top to make his way to Soul Ring.
He just got scanned out going for that play, and that's a death sentence there. No way to secure that at all. So they'll split the runes here, get a couple more stacks from the Keeper of the Light. Don't forget your neutral item.
Yeah, I picked up the wrong one.
Ideally, BetBoom would want to use this amp damage. I think it's going to be the best opportunity they have in this early game.
Well, apparently Whitemon is giving him an opportunity, but it's a bit of a bait with Zaxa coming in as well. They hit the silence. Lornoff, he doesn't have a disable yet, so they can't really take advantage of this. And the amp damage is still going strong here. Kiyotaka does a little bit of diving into Lornoff. He has that remnant back there, so should be fine. Unless he gets surprised by something like a dead shot, perhaps.
Need to get this next power room.
Trying to get the remnants in front of this push in for the 8-minute rune, but it isn't even there. Save gives up his life to try and deny it. Meanwhile, the amp damage from Kiyotaka is not good enough. Double kill for Lornoff. He throws out that remnant thanks to the electric slide, and it slides right into a double for him.
He had remnants up. Just didn't get out in time, maybe underestimated the damage, and yeah, your Tusk takes an arcane top.
Mira walking right into the point-blank Requiem, and a double raise will secure the kill.
Tundra are starting to blow this game open right now. 0 kills on the board for BetBoom. They don't have a lot of stacks to fall back on because Whitemon has continually been sentry blocking this big camp. He'll drop 2 more around this area. And this Brood is starting to heat up. 33, he doesn't care about the tower. He wants the Luna.
Yeah, he wants to make sure that Pure gets no opportunity to farm, and he kills him. Pure reacted almost instantly to the Broodmother popping out of the trees, and it wasn't fast enough.
This is getting scary for BetBoom here, because they're going to lose a lot of map space to this Brood in the early game. I think that was going to be a concession no matter what.
Sure.
But where do you make that up? There has to be a trade-off somewhere on this map right now, and it either comes through skirmishing around power runes with the Ember or ganking the Shadow Fiend somehow. Neither of those looks too easy at the moment. The mid trades did not go too well for them, and this SF is nowhere near to getting ganked. They might find their first kill in Saxa.
Yeah, everybody on Tundra has been pretty aggressive in their positioning on the map. Saxa placed a really, really deep ward that even blocked out that hard camp to the north, but in his process of getting this kind of vision down, does get spotted by BetBoom.
So there's something to put you on the board. They get a D-ward as well. Some extra golden experience for Kiyotaka, who really needs it at this point, because you are racing against an Orchid first for the Storm Spirit. He gets that out at a decent time. It's just going to be chain killing this Ember across the map. How much space can BetBoom to hold on to right now?
Miro, again, try and catch him as he just keeps on getting punished every single time he pushes outside of his tower range. That's going to be a second time that he is brought low. This time around, he doesn't die, but maybe fate worse than death. Has to run back to base. I mean, this is just not going to be a fastest Blink Dagger. He is the lowest net worth core in the game right now. Kiyotaka has now taken over the top lane, but he's doing so solo and quickly has to retreat, as he does know there are some heroes around here.
It's at least good space. You're giving some, creep farm to Pure. Kiyotaka gets some broodlings, so it helps his gold. This Ember can control some of that space against the Brood, at least until the Storm Orchid comes out and creates a threat on him. Yeah, BetBoom's just going to bring everybody to get these Ancients done.
Yeah, what level of Empower are we talking about? Is this some maxed out early Empower?
Kind of a hybrid laning build, I would say. I think you're maxing it from here, though, because this game is not... It's not an aggressive nuke game from this Magnus at all.
Good timing there. They cleared out the Ancient camp before 11 minutes, so a fresh one spawns. So very efficient there, and they're going to need that kind of efficiency, being down 5K net worth and down in kills, so I imagine they're behind in experience by a healthy amount as well.
They're giving it all to the Ember Spirit here. That is who they've chosen to raise the flag. They're going to smoke Kiyotaka up as well with this Coddle combination, run straight into a Naga. Not what you want to see.
Very annoying, especially since he still has Song, but he may not get the opportunity to use it. He dies almost immediately. Kataomi's in a bit of trouble as the dead shot is there to finish him off. Saxa is going to let Kataomi get out of there. So 1-for-1 trade-off.
Still some decent damage. The tag team helping out with the Slate going through. Something you're going to have to think about as this game progresses.
Pure getting to the other side of the map, knows that he cannot stand even underneath the tier 2 against his Broodmother.
No way.
This is the timing that you were alluding to, right? That Broodmother is going to take over the game almost no matter how well the lanes go for BetBoom.
And the lanes did not go that well for BetBoom, so this mid-tier 1 backstab that the Brood's capable of is absolutely online, and with the early auras from 33, he can kind of just linger around this area and pick when to make his move.
Yeah.
So he's sending these spiders behind the tier 1 now. The smoke is coming from the other side. BetBoom, just you're stuck between two sides that neither one you really want to run into. That Orchid is already done for Lornoff, so you can't go on the Brood. He's too tanky with the early mech. You don't want to run into this Storm because he'll kill you. You just have to play defensive right now. Try and bait an overextension or get the other lanes out. Not an easy position for this Ember.
Certainly not.
Does get some decent chip damage, though. That'll help your confidence to push out here. And this is all time for the Luna. If Pure can continue to hit Ancient stacks uncontested, he will recover eventually.
Yeah, but how is that going to stay uncontested? The Broodmother has already dropped some webs over here. So Pure, he's going to have to get out. The Naga Siren Illusions have already scouted him. And 33 is making that sweep. He went from top lane to mid to take that mid tower. Now bottom takes that tier 1 and taking away the rest of the Ancients that Pure could not stay to farm.
I mean, this guy is a 2-time TI champ for a reason. He just took 3 tier 1s by the 13.5-minute mark, dominated his lane, and is He is putting this game in a very solid position for Tundra, as these ores are going to come out quickly, and Ember generally does not deal well fighting into the 5-man aura stack. He offers a lot of spread damage and not a lot of burst damage. This is a nice smoke for the 14-minute Wisdom Rune.
Yeah, an interesting play that I think most circumstances this would net you a kill. It gets scanned. Mass TP's coming in. Zaxa, he's going to brave forward, try and see what's up there. Does manage to get off his ultimate, as does Whitemon. They take the Wisdom Rune. Are they going to be able to get out, though? They throw down the Ensnare onto the Ember Spirit, not quite underneath the tier 2, but here comes Nightfall from behind, hits the Requiem, pushing him deeper into the enemy side of the map, and Tundra, they're going to clean up off of this one. They are easily going to finish off the Ember Spirit, now going for save as well. He gets blasted down. 2 heroes of the 3 end up falling on the BetBoom side. They did not get what they came for. All they found was death.
Tundra's so ready for these Wisdom Rune steals. They scanned both, set up, and a perfect song from Whitemon. He doesn't get that out. You maybe just lose supports and the rune there. Instead, it sets everything up for the Shadow Fiend to come in and help clean house, and that Orchid connection on the Ember, exactly what Lornoff's looking for in this game. BetBoom, they can only lick their wounds and say, well, space for the Luna, I guess.
This is the scary part about Tundra, man. It's not just the fact that they are very good, and when it comes to winning lanes and the technical ability and all that sort of jazz, but they're just a smart team. They have an advantage, and they're giving you absolutely no opportunities whatsoever. BetBoom and these little moves that they keep making are being read by Tundra every single time.
Their map movement is extremely solid. It's very decisive as well, and I mean, a lot of that probably starts with 33 in that offlane. He's proven it across multiple teams now.
Orchid put to use. Kataomi has to bail him out with a snowball. That may get the Ember out of here, but it won't save Kataomi's life. Somebody has to die on BetBoom for this move of Tundra.
BetBoom having real trouble standing on the lanes right now. Cannot protect everybody, and you're sacrificing a lot to try and get these lanes out. At least Pure will push top all the way in, so somebody from Tundra probably has to go and react to that. They could also just force Roche in this game. That's the scary part. This SF gives you a lot of early Roche-taking potential in combination with the Brood and the Naga. And I believe that Greaves is already done for the Broodmother here. Very tough item for the Ember to fight into. You get the Chains Dispel on one hero, and then the extra armor debuff, or the extra armor buff when people get low. Tough for this physical damage lineup to fight into. It's a nice item choice here. You combine that with the Crimson that he's eyeing next. That 5-on-5 looks extremely difficult.
Yeah, at that point, it's going to feel kind of pointless to do these double slight plays thanks to the Chakra Magic.
So we see BetBoom trying to make some moves now, regain some map control. They have Blink on the mag. That's your best playmaking tool. What can you find with it? Not a lot of vision to go off of downside of all these lanes going in. That's the Naga Siren problem as well. This hero makes moves really difficult when you're getting scouted by illusions. The waves are getting pushed in. Just don't see anything. The hero's going to have to show.
I feel like that's maybe the last person you want to show, except for Kiyotaka. Shows in the enemy triangle. I question, is there any play in which that is warranted? The way that this game is going right now.
And where else are they going to be? You know they can only be somewhere since you made that aggressive move into the river, and they weren't showing on the other lanes. That's just a freebie. A gift to Lornoff here as his perfect game continues. 4-0-3 for this Storm. And this Ember matchup has not worked out, despite the buffs they can throw into him. It's a third death for Kiyotaka. And he's the guy you have to remember they gave all those stack priority to. He's the big accelerated core from this BetBoom lineup, not able to wrestle any map control away from Tundra. And another tower falls to the Brood. That tier 2 bottom also got taken, by the way. So that's the 5th outer tower by 17.5. 33 absolutely out of control.
The map was looking small when the tier 2s were up. As they fall, BetBoom, who is going to be able to find any space to farm as their lineup still needs time. Kataomi with the nice shards.
Oh, I thought he got out.
Unfortunately, he's spotted by the Remnant. Sox's quick fingers does manage to get the Rod of Atos on him, and they kill the other support on the other side of the map. At the same time, save falls.
You have to make some kind of play on this Brood. Try and catch him in an RP, or just catch anybody in an RP. There's some nice Spiralings. Definitely take that. Makes his CS look more respectable, at least.
Yeah,
but something has to come out from this mag. You're bleeding way too much net worth, way too much map control. And it's not going to get much better for you unless you can open up parts of your map again.
Yeah. It just feels like BetBoom, I know they have tried to make some moves, and Tundra have managed to rebuke them every single time, but at some point, man, I just feel like you kind of need to just blink RP somebody. Just go for it. It's just been so much time that...
I mean, you could have messed the re-up by now, and it wouldn't have really made a difference. Sure. You'd still have it up, so you're going to have to take some risks to come back.
It's not like Tundra are waiting for your RP to be on cooldown to take Roshan. They're doing it right now. Right in front of your face.
Well, they also have the Naga, so they're not even afraid of this kind of fight. True. You could just sleep the Rosh, secure it. Well, it gets scanned out here, I mean. Yeah, it's being done. Can't do anything about it. The lead continues to grow, and that's an early Aegis for the Shadow Fiend, exactly what this lineup wants. That BKB is already done for Nightfall, by the way. He's incredibly farmed. That good laning phase paying off.
You know what this feels like? This feels like the previous series for BetBoom, where they had that very slow start against Aurora, except for Aurora, gave it an opening in the mid-game, and BetBoom managed to execute. Here, it feels like Tundra's giving BetBoom no openings whatsoever, so it's just a slow start into a flop, so far anyway, for them, as they are down 13K at 20 minutes.
How much does Tundra want to push with this Aegis? You are up against high ground defense Magnus.
Yeah.
That's the one scary part about this game, I think. So you could just farm the map and take everything away until it's overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, Tundra's... Some of these players who have won a TI or two are pretty familiar with that play style and how to do it.
Oh, nice save. He's out of mana.
And he went to an illusion, still hit by the calling, though. The Ember Spirit Yuled up in the air. Does he have a remnant to be able to jump away to? He does. Threatening the RP. Doesn't get anything, though. Still has that ready to go, but if they don't get something soon, I mean, if you don't kill anybody in the mid lane, you're losing your bottom lane of barracks here for free.
Anybody home?
BetBoom late to the door, only just now receiving this entrance, and Melee Barracks already gone. Okay, there's the skewer back from Miro. Quick retreat off of that one. No RP. They don't want to hit it onto an Aegis hero, but Nightfall says, okay, well, you did that. You did your initiation. I'm just going to hit this ranged barracks. First, I'll finish up Kataomi, but ranged barracks now dead. Focusing on the second lane. I mean, it feels like Nightfall is just begging. Miro, go ahead, man. Just RP me already. Put a stop to this.
You have to drag somebody deep here. This is the only way you're going to defend a lane. You just gave up one effectively for free. You're just going to chill. Get the next set of items, the Crimson done for the Brood. I don't know what BetBoom's exact game plan was for this game one, but this was not it.
Yeah, there are some games where you could say, like, man, this team is being really patient. They're doing a great job. Patience is a virtue after all, but it feels like it's inaction from BetBoom that is the current vice.
Yeah, this is a game you needed to take more risks earlier to try and come back. This is a smoke gank that
There we go. There's the RP into the Eclipse. Hey, It doesn't matter if we're throwing down multiple ultimates for it. I'll take any kill we can for BetBoom. They get a third on the board.
Their lineup can absolutely make smoke ganks like that. With this Magnus. It's not impossible. That's probably one you didn't even need to RP, technically. So it is still doable here. You do have some comeback potential with the scale on the Luna with all the buffs.
Yeah.
You just have to keep looking for things, because if this lead gets to 30K in another Aegis, then you're really in trouble.
Well, if he can farm up another 1,100 gold, the RPs will become easier for him with the BKB.
Sure.
Right now, there's a problem of he blinks in, he could just get instantly orcated by the Storm Spirit.
And you are going to need BKBs at some point in this game if you're BetBoom to try and make the comeback, because you do have to play through that Naga song.
Tundra, they are just going to go through this bottom lane. If there's somebody on the high ground, it'll break, but they don't immediately break, and instead they find the vision on Miro first. Get that pick off. Okay, no blink skewer back. That's the perfect hero to be able to kill and use the remainder of this Aegis to assault another high ground.
Still has a minute and a half left. That's absolutely enough time to take a second Rax here. Get the lanes in, push some illusions in, disrupt some heroes. Let Nightfall go to work. This is where Shadow Fiend shines, these early Deathball pushes.
Yules, but he's coming back into the calling, so he needs a force staff. Pulled back in by the Reelant, though, and the silence just lasts too long.
That Yules cannot save you from the Naga and the calling.
Yep.
No matter how much you want it to, and that's a second lane gone without a skewer or an RP available.
Nice dead shot, back in, save. Forced into the open arms of Nightfall, will bring down his old teammate and start taking down tier 4s as well. One is already gone. It's up to Miro now. Miro's going to have to make some amazing move, but look at Tundra split. There's just no way to hit an RP on more than one hero.
Just get hit by Naga illusions too. This deluge on the back line.
And now they just straight up jump here and kill him before Miro gets an opportunity. He's just constantly hit by spells. Nothing. A near perfect game for Tundra, 19-3.
That was just way too easy. There's nothing that challenged the Broodmother game progression, the Shadow Fiend with Aegis taking your buildings. Everything went according to plan there for Tundra. Even this mid lane matchup that was a little even because of the stacking, this Orchid Storm just completely debilitated the Ember on any sort of aggressive playmaking. And then that support duo just falls apart because you lack a little bit of damage. I mean, you cannot ask for a better game one here if you're Tundra. That's a demoralizing loss.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this team really needs a confidence boost, but if they did need one, that is an incredible one, man. What a great start to their first game on the main stage here. 19-3. I mean, even the small pickoffs that happened, it was like 33 Broodmother getting both RP'd and eclipsed.
And it just wasn't enough to swing any large portion of that map back to their favor.
Sure.
So, yeah, Tundra looking quite strong in this game one. Exactly the plan that they wanted to execute here. And that's part of the issue with this team. When you go into that draft for the game two, you have to look at what they did in this first time around. They banned the Bristle and the Visage first phase, took out the Sand King, which is another hero we've seen 33 play.
Yep.
The Beastmaster got banned. The Doom was available that he didn't take. And 33 still gets a last pick hero that in theory you have some okay laning answers to in the mid game that just absolutely runs rampant and destroys any ability for you to make plays. What do you do versus Guy? I mean, it's been a question for a lot of years. He just exerts too much pressure on you in the draft and in the game. I think you have to pool a little extra resources in the laning phase to shut him down, and you can't be too afraid of his hero pool because he's going to get something no matter what.
Yeah.
You can't go into it saying we're going to ban X, Y, and Z because then he runs out of heroes. He does not run out of heroes. I think we've learned that by now. So the answers have to come from the gameplay, right? The laning, the early game, stepping up. And I think BetBoom are capable of doing that. Hopefully they'll make some adjustments game two and give us a closer match because this was just not it.
Yeah, I think the fact that we still had like 3 more heroes at the end when it was the last pick 33, you said you were still okay with the Doom, for example, if Broodmother got banned, right? It was like there is still more options for Tundra in ways for them to be able to win this game through the draft that they had. Felt like BetBoom was a little bit more experimental in that regard and a slower lineup for sure. That really didn't work.
There's not enough early game damage to contest the skirmishing power and also the towers. That is the biggest thing in this game. This Brood took 5 towers uncontested. Not a single smoke anchor fight went into the Brood, taking away all of that map control. Mm-hmm. You're not going to win a game when that happens against a good team. Tundra are very clearly a very solid team at this event. So that pace needs to get picked up here from BetBoom. I suspect they're going to go back into maybe some of the higher damage early game supports over the Tusk that have worked better for them this event, particularly the Morta or the Clock or the Enchantress.
Yeah.
Maybe ban that Naga out if they felt like it caused them problems. Honestly, I think this Naga would have caused them problems. It didn't even need to. And we also heard before, some of those interviews, the carry diff.
Yeah.
Was that even necessary? It
wasn't, man. The game was over by like 20 minutes. The carry didn't even get to play the game.
I mean, there was a carry diff in this game, but it was the net worth, and all of that was generated by the map control.
Yeah.
I think Nightfall, this is the easiest game he's probably played in his life. You lane for a little bit, and then you just walk to the throne, right-clicked it down, and nothing happened to you.
Yeah.
It's the carry dream here. This man is feeling very good about his position on this squad right now.
Well, I mean, Whitemon said true to his word. He said he's going to carry it.
He carried
his
lane.
carry, and they certainly did very well both in the lane and the game. In particular, that Song of Siren play on the Wisdom Rune. I mean, that was annihilation. They were